This is a 10-round heavyweight fight featuring James "Buster" Douglas and Trevor Berbick. Both fighters have an extreme amount of experience. Berbick, of course, as you take a look at the tail of the tape, you see that James Douglas is an inch taller. He's 7 pounds heavier and 6 years younger. He's one of the fellows that's being touted for a shot at perhaps Mike Tyson's title, but he'll have to get past Trevor Berbick tonight. Berbick comes in with a 35-6-1 record. Douglas coming in with 27-4 and 19 knockouts. This is round 1. This is scheduled for 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Both fellows have white trunks on. It's Berbick that has the trim on his trunks. It's red, white, and blue. He told me yesterday he was wearing red trunks, but he's got white trunks on. The solid white trunks is James "Buster" Douglas. Douglas fought Tony Tucker for the IBF world title, as you recall. Lost that one. His last time out, he knocked out Mike Williams on the Tyson Spinks card last June. Had him down 3 times in that fight. So 2 world-class fighters. Trevor Berbick, the former WBC heavyweight champion, before losing his title to Mike Tyson in November of 1986. 10-point must-scoring system in effect here in Las Vegas, Nevada. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The fighter must get up following a low blow, remaining counted out. Mandatory 8 count following knockdowns. However, there's no standing 8 count here unless the fighter's caught in the ropes. And a fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round, when the bell signifies the end of the match. Up, Trevor. Again, this is round 1. Now look at these gentlemen. See the time remaining in the first round.
No, let him go, buddy. Let him up, let him up.
But it's seemingly very evenly matched. Maybe a slight advantage to James "Buster" Douglas so far, getting through with the jab. Nice right hand yesterday, just as I said. Berbick seems distracted or concerned about something that's going on in there. He really hasn't been able to do too much with Buster Douglas. Talking to Douglas. Berbick likes the area around here. He's moving out here. Formerly the Canadian champion.
Hey, Berbick
looking to land one big blow, and as he comes in, it's Douglas that unleashes a barrage of his own. Nothing really landing. That crisp jab, though, is getting through to the chin of Trevor Berbick. You see the time remaining in round number 1.
Come on, Paul.
All right, the bell ends round number 1. James Douglas and Trevor Berbick. So we look into the corner of the 2 fighters, and we see neither one of them really built up much of a sweat in the first round. Working the corner of James Douglas is Johnny Johnson, J.D. McCauley, and Johnny Taco. It's Johnny Taco with the hat on. And across the way in Trevor Berbick's corner, working on him. Trevor, 35-6-1, 26 knockouts. Calls his hometown Miami, Florida, but soon that will be Las Vegas, Nevada.
No seconds, come on. Come on there, gentlemen.
All right, this is round 2. Scheduled for 10, heavyweight division. Both fighters seemingly want to pick up the pace here. At least Trevor Berbick wants to. And this is the second round. kind of the expression on his face, adrenaline pumping. And as they say that, it's Buster Douglas that tries to get that jab. Douglas's body looks amazing. Johnny Johnson, a former Ohio State football coach, worked under Coach Woody Hayes out there for many, many years, and he's done a great job training Buster Douglas down to this weight of 226. At one time, he was way up there. And maybe you heard behind me the corner of Buster Douglas yelling, use both hands. He's got the strong jab. He's got to let go with that right hand. There he goes, but just misses it. Whistles by the chin of Trevor Berbick. The time he's nailed with both the right hand and the left hand and another right. Douglas kind of hesitating when Berbick said, come on in. He should have just nailed him again. He's got him a couple of real good shots here in the second round. We get Tyson put him down in the second round. 1986. That was for the WBC championship that Tyson now holds. Berbick's perhaps the best fight of his career was when he did such a nice job on Hickman Thomas. All they're doing is waiting for Buster Douglas to get a little rhythm in there, a little bounce in the legs. Everything works off that left jab for him. He's got to throw the right hand a little bit more. Again, we're just in round number 2. Wire with the right hand. He catches a little right hand counter by Berbick, but nothing really heavy. Berbick's punches don't seem to be taking any toll at all on Buster Douglas, but Douglas' jab really sets up a nice right hand. He's missed it a couple of times, as you've seen, but he landed it a couple of times in this round. In the first round, you really could have scored even. I did score 10-9 in favor of Douglas, but certainly this round is a decisive 10-9 round for Douglas so far. And you see the time remaining there. Another nice combination taken by Berbick. Berbick at 34 years old is at the tail end of his career. He still has plenty of experience, but you wonder just where his career is going at this stage. Well, the bell ends round number 2, and a very good round 2 for James Buster Douglas. In between rounds 2 and 3 here, as you see John Taco working on Buster Douglas. Douglas, a native of Columbus, Ohio. Sitting in the anchor corner here. Got some water splashing on us, and we really don't need it. We're refreshed enough in between rounds. All right, here we go with round number 3. And this, again, scheduled for 10, heavyweight division. To the left of your screen. Well, to the left of your screen now is James Douglas. To the right of your screen, Trevor Berbick. So it's Berbick with the trim on the white trunks. A bit of a low blow there.
Yeah, I will do.
Again, this is the 3rd round, starting out like the 2nd round. Looks like Berbick wants to be on the assault. Again, he ends up instead on the receiving end of the shots by James Buster Douglas. There's a lot on the line for Douglas in this fight. Also showing because he's going to be in line for a shot at Mike Tyson's type, assuming, of course, that he does the job on Frank Bruno that everyone figures he will do.
Watch them heads, gentlemen. Quit holding. Let's go, Buster. Let's go, quit holding.
They started this round without putting the mouthpiece back in.
Put them elbows, Buster.
James Douglas's
Let's go, boxing out of it.
mouth, which is good.
Quit holding.
And Douglas' part. Again, I don't think that that'll be sure was a knockdown. No, it was just a push down, and immediately referee Toby Gibson did a nice job realizing that, just waved off the men counting for the knockdown. He had no knockdown at all. Douglas taking shots to the body that are dangerously low, and I think he's going to get warned about it by referee Toby Gibson. Their arms are still free, so he doesn't interfere too much with them. Douglas looks like he can do really what he wants to do with Trevor Berbick. The only bright spot at all for Berbick during the course of the fight has been about 10 or 15 seconds in the early going of both the second and third rounds. Other than that, Douglas is just building up points here, doing a nice job on it. Douglas just continues to pummel away at the head and face of Trevor Berbick. Just continues to build up points, but he can't land the big right hand. Berbick, on the other hand, for a guy that's held the WBC heavyweight championship in the world, does not look good at all in there. It's almost like he's going through the motions.
Come on, Jeff, let's go.
Douglas has got to go back to what he was doing more successfully in the first and second round, and that's setting things up with that jab and trying to follow up with the right hand. This is the end of round 3. Take a look at the corner of Trevor Berbick, and you see that he doesn't seem to be really that exhausted or anything, but he's not putting on what I would consider a very good performance at all tonight. And Trevor's a very likable guy. He's a guy you want to see do well. James Douglas, a good guy too. Neither fight has been down, neither fight is visibly shaken, although it certainly has been a stronger fight so far for James Douglas. I think he's won every round of the fight. All right, let's see what happens here. Berbick wants to pick it up in the early going, as he's done in the past 3 rounds. This is round 4. Again, Berbick with the trim on his white trunks. And James Buster Douglas with the solid white trunks. There's Berbick again with the early flurry in the early portion of the round, but he doesn't seem to be able to maintain it and sustain it throughout the course of the round. He's on the attack right now. But if this goes true to form for the first 3 rounds of the fight, Douglas will set him up with a jab, throw the right hand, as he's attempting to do now, setting it up with that jab, and then take over after about a minute of the round and just control the remaining portion of it. That's the way it's been going since it started. The jab not really landing that time. Come on! Come on! A couple of things we've noticed is Douglas hesitating a little bit when he has hit Trevor Berbick, and that's something that if he wants to get a shot at Mike Tyson's title, he's not going to have a chance to do it all when he fights Mike Tyson. Of course, Trevor Berbick has faced Tyson. In fact, that's how he lost his WBC title. And I don't mean to be critical of the fighters, because nobody's made any kind of impression on Mike Tyson thus far. So the big story is just getting the shot to fight him and see if you might get lucky at any given night. And that's what the people that control Buster Douglas would like to see. Again, this is round 4, and again, it's scheduled for 10 rounds. Not an especially good round for Buster Douglas, but he seems to be landing more blows, certainly, than does Trevor Berbick. Bob Sheridan here on the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network. Glad to have you with us. A couple of big heavyweights here. Douglas in at 226. Berbick, I don't suppose you call him huge, but he's in at 219. Good size fellows. Berbick 6'3", Douglas is 6'4". Berbick on the tail end of his career at age 34. He's fought the best over his career. And in fact, as I mentioned before, former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And not a bad record in his career. Nailed by a right hand that time that I thought might have taken some starch and steam out of his legs. Nice crisp jab is that jab of Buster Douglas.
Go, clean it out of here. Let's go. Box it out of here. Quit the wrestle. Let's go. Box it out of here. Stop.
All right, the bell ends round number 4. Take a look into the corner of Trevor Berbick, and he doesn't seem any worse for the wear, or is that a little bit of a cut that they're working on over that right eye? Can't really tell from this angle. I can't see it any better here at ringside than you can see it in that shot on television here. Appears to be at least a little bit of puffiness around the right eye. All right, we're ready to go. Round number 5. And again, this is scheduled for 10, heavyweight division. You got a former heavyweight champion of the world, the WBC version, and Trevor Berbick in there against James Buster Douglas, who once fought Tony Tucker for the IBF championship and was doing pretty good in that fight, and Tucker ended up winning it. And of course, that title was taken from Tucker by Mike Tyson later on. So what Douglas is looking for is a shot at Tyson and a shot at the big money. And he's comfortably out in front in this fight. I think he's won all 4 of the first 4 rounds. But Berbick is trying to pick up the pace a little bit more here. And as he does, Buster Douglas answers him again. Don't forget, it's Berbick in the white trunks with the trim on it, and Buster Douglas with the solid white trunks. In the first couple of rounds, that jab of Buster Douglas was real crisp, and I thought was taking a toll, and perhaps has taken a little bit of a toll in the right eye of Trevor Berbick. But he doesn't seem to follow it up. And if he's going to come out with just the jab, he's got to do just that. He's got to double with the jab. It's a better round for Trevor Berbick. You notice that James Douglas is going out with that jab, but again, it's not landing with the real snap that it had in the first couple of rounds. We're only in round 5. Wow, with the right hand again. No, Berbick is the type of guy that, with all the experience he's had in the ring, he can make you look bad. You know, and he has a nice ability to slip punches. And while I've never really thought that Douglas is one of the great heavyweights of all time, he's a guy with a considerable amount of ability and a lot of determination. Just by the magnificent shape that he's got his body in, from the size he used to be, you've got to say he's a determined athlete. But he looks kind of lackluster against Trevor Berbick. All that could change when one big right hand would land. Trevor shows his ring smarts coming in. He ties him up, hangs on to him, keeps the hands in front so he doesn't take any serious body shots, keeps his chin tucked so he doesn't get nailed too hard.
Shoelace looks like that. Get up here.
Considerable amount again of low blows, and I really haven't seen Toby Gibson warn James Buster Douglas about the low shots. These hooks are looking good. A couple of left hooks and then the right hand. Nice crisp shot landed by Buster Douglas, and then Trevor Berbick answered. You heard Toby Gibson that time say, hey, no holding. He was hanging on with the left hand and nailing him. All right, the bell ends round number 5. All right, so we're coming up to round number 6. Again, this is scheduled for 10 rounds, so we're halfway through. Unofficially here, I've got James Buster Douglas winning every single round. The first round could have been scored even, and the 5th round could have been scored even, but I think he's landed more blows in both of those rounds than did Trevor Berbick. But remember, that's only an indication. The 3 judges here at ringside do the scoring in Las Vegas. This is round 6. Again, Trevor Berbick in the trunks with the trim on it. Buster Douglas in the solid white trunks. Both guys getting some shots through here. Trevor Berbick has been more effective with the left hook. Trevor does some scoring inside as they're all tied up in here. What they want Douglas to do is push off, get that jab going, and cut loose with the right hand. There's the right hand that time. You know, a lot of times when you see Berbick, he almost looks like he's staggering. He goes with the punches so well. That time he took a pretty good flush right hand. He moves with the punch so well that you think he's staggered, and then all of a sudden he comes back and he nails it.
Let him go.
The corner of Buster Douglas saying, come on, don't wait on this guy. Now, Berbick is a game guy at 34 years old. He's got himself in good enough shape to be standing in here with a guy that's right in his prime at age 28. Goes to the uppercut, tries to work the body. And you see Berbick just sort of laying around. Every once in a while, he'll cut loose with a shot when he sees an opening. He'd love to let that right hand go because the way Douglas is holding that left hand down, he's wide open for a right hand. But it's actually been the left hook that's more effective. Real good shots thrown by Douglas, but Berbick hasn't taken one flush yet. I say he hasn't taken one flush. I mean, one series one. He's been hit pretty good by Buster Douglas quite a few times in the fight, especially in the 2nd round, again in the 3rd round, and probably more times in this, the 6th round. I'd like to see Douglas just take a little dip here and wail to the body of Trevor Berbick, and you've got to believe it would take some of the starch out of Trevor. Trevor's got the jaw hanging down.
Let's go, box it. Let him up. No hold,
again, this is round 6, as you see, and you see the time remaining. Inside of 20 seconds now.
Come on, let him up.
Shots getting through now by Buster Douglas. Neither fighter has been down. Neither fighter really visibly marked, although there's a little puffness around the right eye of Trevor Berbick. All right, the bell ends round number 6. Another good round for Buster Douglas. As we continue to look into the corner of James Buster Douglas, and again, that's Johnny Taco working on him.
I don't know you.
Come on, let's go, Johnny.
All right, this is round 7. Again, scheduled for 10. We're in the heavyweight division.
Let's go.
James Buster Douglas in the solid white trunks against Trevor Berbick in the white trunks with the red and blue trim. And so far, it's been James Douglas all the way. It's really not much of a contest to this point. Again, this is round number 7, and again, it's scheduled for 10 rounds. Two, I would have to say, hard-working heavyweights, although watching Trevor Berbick, you might say he's putting on kind of a lackluster performance. But at his age, he's doing pretty good.
Let him go, let him go. Let him go.
Come on, Buster, go!
Put the hold. Let him go. Let him go.
This has been the first round that there really hasn't been a good flurry in the early portion of a round. They're getting to the point where they're getting a little bit fatigued. Toby Gibson, the referee, didn't like the way that knee came up of Trevor Berbick when he got pushed back that time. And now Berbick on the receiving end of some pretty good shots here. It looks like he might be ready to go as he hangs on to the head and the body of James Douglas. Now what Douglas is going to do is get right back on top of him. He nails him with the right hand. Berbick looks like he's ready to go. James is going to attack now, and he is. He's hitting with some real good shots right now.
Let him go.
Again, Berbick has the experience and wherewithal to hang on. Douglas has got to push him back and take a good shot at him. And you see Berbick again with the experience, knows exactly what to do, and that's to hang on. Douglas is breathing very heavily himself, and well, you almost feel as you watch the fight, you'd like to throw the right hand toward him. But there's a lot of fatigue. He's not really waiting because he wants to wait. He's waiting because he's pretty fatigued himself.
Go, go, go! Keep the back. Get it off.
Again, Trevor Berbick one time held the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. And right now, he does not look like a man of championship caliber. But again, he's 34 years old. And he's had a lot of time in the ring. Had some big fights over the course of his career. Lost his title, of course, as the Billings round number 7 to Michael Tyson. All right, another big round for Buster Douglas.
To the commission table at ringside. Doolittle will not report to the commission table at ringside, please.
Taking a look at James Buster Douglas. Watch this right hand coming up now. Bang, there it is. And again, you remember me talking earlier in the fight about the ability of Berbick.
What's his name?
These guys in the corner of Buster Douglas continue to spray us with water here, so I seem a little distracted in between rounds. I don't hear what's going on here. It's like a rain shower going on in between each round here, but we'll see what we can do to sort that out. All right, this is round number 8, and it's scheduled for 10, and the way it's going, it looks like it will be going that distance, unless Douglas can get started a little bit heavier than what he's been doing so far in the fight, although he had a real good round number 7. So here we go with round 8 anyway. Again, it's Douglas with the solid white trunks and Berbick with the white trunks with the red trim.
There you go. Get yourself.
Berbick looked like he had some pretty good rest in between the rounds. He seems pretty much rejuvenated here, but he seemed like that in several rounds of the fight, in that he's been strong in the early going. Nice crisp left hand at times. You see him trying to work to the body of Buster Douglas. Douglas again, the solid white. And Trevor Berbick, the white with the red and blue trim.
Show him how to do what he's trying to do.
Neither fighter has been down in the fight. It's appeared that Berbick has been wobbled a couple of times in the fight. Trevor Berbick is kind of puffy around the right eye. That's from the constant left jab of James Buster Douglas. This is good work for Douglas, but you know, taking a look at him against an aging Trevor Berbick and think that, you know, this is going to put him in line for a title shot, and in fact it will. If he, you know, goes on to win this fight, it will give him a shot at the title. But you wonder, you know, who's around that can really give Mike Tyson a lot of trouble. A lot of guys being discussed, but, and of course Buster Douglas is one of them. Berbick to the right of your screen, and Douglas now kind of with his back to you continues to wail away at Trevor Berbick and just continue to build up points. I've got the fight, Buster Douglas winning every single round in the fight. First round was probably more even than some of the others. Oh, good right hand on Berbick, but he just doesn't seem to go. It's kind of frustrating for Buster Douglas because he's catching Berbick with some good shots here. Berbick won't go for him.
Let's go, work yourself out. Let's go.
Nice right hand cut that time. Berbick is taking a lot more punishment, and as they say that, he catches Buster Douglas with a pretty good right uppercut.
Go. Clean out.
Closing seconds now of round 8. Another real good round for James Buster Douglas. All right, we'll show you some of these right hands that, and that one digging just below the chin, falling up with the left hand. And then you see, instead of Douglas, and of course the reason for it is fatigue, he's not able to really follow it up with any pure. He was almost satisfied himself to come on and hang on himself. Of course, that's what happens with heavyweights as we're getting ready to come to the 9th round. This portion of the fight is just not easy for a guy to continue to really follow up like they can in the early going. All right, here we go with round number 9. Again, this is scheduled for 10, heavyweight division. Trevor Berbick in the white trunks with the red and blue trim, and in the solid white trunks is James Buster Douglas. Douglas in 27-4-2 with 19 KOs. Berbick 35-6-1 with 26 knockouts. You see that way leaning back, the ropes look extremely loose to me here, and maybe they'll have to tighten them up before the night's completely over here, but the fighters seem to be really able to lay way back in the ropes here, which can be kind of dangerous. A guy coming off the ropes hard, you get nailed, be off balance, and I wouldn't be surprised if before the night's over to see them change that situation. Now, you see Douglas has got Berbick in his corner right above us.
Get out of here, come on, get out of here.
And Berbick has the ability to not get hit too much in that corner as the fatigue factor make him safe from getting too pummeled that time. Again, this is round 9. And again, as I mentioned, scheduled for 10 rounds. Just a pawing left hand that time by Trevor Berbick. Berbick does not have the strength to do anything now to Douglas. Douglas still has enough left to be able to take out Berbick, but thus far, neither fighter has really nailed with a vicious shot, vicious enough to tumble him anyway. Heavier blows in the fight have been landed by James Buster Douglas. It almost seems like Trevor Berbick, I like the shot that you have there because you can see the legs and everything. When he throws his punch, it looks like he's off balance and he doesn't get the real good zing behind it because his legs don't seem to be lined up in such a position that he can really get his punches off. Now you see what I mean about those loose ropes as he backs them off into the ropes. See him laying way back into the ropes. I've got to say for Trevor that he's giving it all he has at age 34. Not easy to get into the kind of shape that he needed to get fighting a younger guy right in the prime of his career at age 28. Nice left hand, right hand scores that time. I'd say Berbick has got himself in good shape for this fight because Douglas has landed blows heavy enough to topple the lesser opponents, and he's hit him about 5 to 6 times in this round. Another real good round for Buster Douglas. You see the time remaining, and this is the 9th round. Rather than the fact that a guy that has 19 knockouts and has 27 wins is a bad puncher, I have to say Berbick has got himself in real good shape and able to absorb some of the punches. There's the end of round 9.
Johnny, break. Use your head. Don't throw no fucking lazy jab. You understand?
Can you do that?
All right, we're in the corner of James Buster Douglas.
Stick your tongue out. Stick your tongue out.
Let's see if we can hear anything they're saying in there now.
Get the fuck out of there.
Last round, Buster, you give him a clean fight. Let's see a clean touch and glove.
I guarantee you, when you push him off, you can fucking nail him. You understand? If you push him off and drop his hands, you jump right in his chest. No lazy jab. You understand? He'll come out winging. If you get inside of him, just get your leverage, rip up side.
Now listen to me a minute. Now
That's
listen to
Johnny
me a
Taco
minute.
talking now.
This is the last round. You remember what I told you about this guy standing in front of you?
Let's go.
Huh? All right, let's go out there and throw some punches. My piece.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up, man?
Let's go.
Come on, Johnny.
All right, here we go. This is the beginning bell for round number 10. The fighters touch gloves is Toby Gibson's instructions. And here we go, the 10th and final round. Berbick could not win this fight, in my opinion, unless he knocks out James Buster Douglas. And that's not likely to happen. Douglas would like to get him right in front of him, line him up with a jab, and then cut loose with the right hand and take Berbick off his feet, something he hasn't been able to do. As I say that, Berbick was the one that got off first. Berbick almost caught him again with the right hand shot. Missed the right hand and had to answer by taking a right hand from Buster Douglas. Berbick is game. I gotta give him credit. Again, you see him kind of hesitant there, and he was off balance. Even had he thrown that front, he would have had any sting on it because he just doesn't have his positioning, and he doesn't seem to have his timing to get it so that his punches have any real power to them. Again, Berbick with the trim on his trunks. James Buster Douglas with the solid white trunks. Douglas punched with either hand in the early going of the fight. He had that real nice left jab going as he walks into a right hand of Trevor Berbick.
Let's go, come on, work it out.
Then as the fight progressed, and you might have heard Johnny Johnson talking in between rounds there about the lazy left hand. The lazy left hand doesn't really do anybody any good. It doesn't keep a guy off. It doesn't hurt him. It's going to waste your energy by even bothering to throw it out. That time, Berbick caught Douglas in the back of the head as he spun around, and Douglas seemingly didn't like that. Toby Gibson, the referee, having some trouble controlling those guys. This is the 10th and final round of the fight. Bob Sheridan here in the Don King Sports Entertainment Network. Nice to be with us. It's been James Buster Douglas all the way. And they would expect a unanimous decision in his favor, but we'll wait for the official scoring. This has been actually a better round for Trevor Berbick. Maybe one of his best rounds of the fight, but still the heavier blows are being landed by James Douglas. We wanted to give a round to Berbick. He's been trying to give this round to him, but still Douglas is landing the heavier blows.
Last job, gentlemen. Last job, gentlemen.
John Taco said the way he stands right in front of you, you got to be able to hit him. He seems to be able to get through him, but he really hasn't been able to land the big shot. Berbick shows how game he is by keeping the hands flailing his inside. Body shot by Berbick. And this is the bell ending the fight. Tough fight for both fellas, the aging Trevor Berbick against the fellow right in his prime, James Douglas. Douglas fighting the experienced professional. Didn't look good, but in my opinion, he looked good enough to win every single round. I have the fight scored 100-90, but we'll wait and see exactly how the judges scored. Watch this shot to the back of the head. We've got this for you. And when I giggled afterwards a little bit, you see what I mean? Now watch him. Bang. Now right after this, watch Douglas turn around. He goes right after him. He didn't like that at all. And this is when they get into it in the corner as he hangs on. When I get a little chuckle and Toby Gibson comes in, and Toby had trouble separating him there. All right, we're waiting for our ring announcer, Chuck Hall, who I believe has gathered everything. So let's go up to our ring announcer, Chuck Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Robert Shirley scores 99-91. Judge Patricia Jarman scores 98-92. And Judge Al Miller scores 99-91. For the winner by unanimous decision, James Buster Douglas.
So just as we thought, the judges all agreed pretty much with me. I didn't give Berbick any round, and so it was a good effort for James Buster Douglas, winning just about every round on just about every judge's scorecard. A unanimous decision winner, James Buster Douglas over Trevor Berbick.
Yeah, black bag. I haven't got it. Pick it up.